share what we've done well and the solutions that have worked. And that continues to be an abiding element of the forum and an abiding part of what we want to achieve. So delivering sustainable regeneration, quality affordable homes and balanced housing markets is an absolutely key political issue. And when politicians turn from their current concerns and start to concentrate on the domestic agenda, it's inevitable that housing will be a key priority. The only way the government will reach 300,000 homes is by investing in affordable housing. We have the challenge of capacity. 70,000 people retiring from the industry over the next 10 years, a real need to bring new talent into the industry, both in management and in terms of operations on site. We really do need to make that a key focus going forward, and coupled with that, continued investment and increasing the pace of deliveries of modern methods. We should be challenging the government to reward and facilitate investment in modern methods.
But we've got to the point of defining affordability and looking at who is affected by the problems of housing affordability. Rather than using the market as the measure, we've looked at people's income as the measure, because that's what affordability is about, so that people can afford for themselves. And the line after which people tend to get into difficulty is 33% of your income. Who is it who is suffering from the affordable housing crisis, from having the stress and strain of their rent being too high in terms of their income? But if you're still renting when you retire, your income is going to halve. If you were spending 40% before of your income on rent, the day after you retire, whenever that is, you're going to be spending 80% of your income. You won't be able to afford the home that you're in. You'll have to move. We've got this now really very big wave of generation rent who are growing old in rented accommodation. They're not buying as their previous generations used to. And if we roll this forward, it looks like trouble. We're on the cusp of moving back again, and social housing playing a much more significant role than it has to if we're to produce homes that are truly affordable.
These are all aspects of a housing crisis, and they all require more and better and different homes, and that is a necessary but not a sufficient condition for resolving the various aspects of the housing crisis that I've discussed there.
We challenged architects to help Britain achieve the government's ambitious housing targets by building the homes the next generation deserves. He said, if you get the design right, the scale, the context, the fitness, communities will feel enhanced and respected and will lay down their petitions and placards. We've heard about the challenge of homelessness, we've heard about the challenge of home ownership. Everyone agrees that there is a problem of affordability, and most of our leaders agree that the way to remedy the situation is to build more homes.
At the moment they're going to have to deal with very substantial parts of the country being regularly flooded, having very, very severe heat waves every other year. So I wonder whether you think that would be something that the industry is thinking more seriously about.
When we look at the challenge of climate change now, I wouldn't expect us to stand idly by. We, in our commissioning and our design of homes now, have the opportunity to preempt that and start to think about solutions that really work for the long term. And I think that's incumbent on all of us.
There are ways in which, if we do now really gear up and take this seriously, it's achievable. We can stop climate change becoming the absolute abject disaster that it might be.
The relationship between transport and housing, I think, is utterly fascinating, and I think we're going to see huge change, behavioural change in how people move about, where they move about, where they live and work, and the means by which they move about. And I'm quite hopeful that we're going to see positive change in that area.
Are the current procurement processes fit for purpose? Do we need to look at how you engage as a client, as a public sector client, engaging with your supply chain much earlier? So John Egan has already been mentioned this morning, but I think certainly that early engagement with main contractors, with manufacturers and with designers is essential to making a scheme work properly. Working together is a big part of this, is making sure we have a sufficient pipeline to support the sector, the industry, and making sure that housing providers are working collaboratively, something that Housing Forum is one of the key aims.
we spent 10 times longer on the traditional project than we did on site on the fully off-site project. So that 10 times of extra time didn't add value to anybody, really. Didn't add value to your businesses, didn't add value to ours. So guess which project was more successful, more productive, more profitable for everybody. Was the one that was finished a year earlier and started getting rental income 12 months before a traditional project could have delivered. So there are big benefits.
It's all the kids that are playing Minecraft, playing Fortnite, all these games. When they come into the industry, they will expect nothing else than to do things completely digitally. But how do we actually make it work in the real world? And what can you do as designers and clients to help with that?
If we do allow and make space for landscape to come into our schemes for trees and planting, there are huge benefits. They can improve the natural ecology of the area, creating biodiversity. They can improve air quality for residents. They can provide shade for buildings in the summer. And also they connect us to the seasons and nature, which is really good for our mental health. And aside from all of that, it looks great too. So keep it green.
So who is going to drive this forward, and what are all your views on that?
So the question about housing associations, and I mean general needs as opposed to specialist housing associations, is how do you incorporate that into your day-to-day work? So instead of it being something that you're thinking about as a specialist, it just becomes something that you as a client specify.
These are really good examples of housing associations and local authorities working in partnership, and I think together we need to do more, and we need to kind of really understand that demand side and how we can better educate our existing residents.
Saying that there's a serious problem with bed blocking, people coming from home ownership in very poor condition properties with illnesses, obvious illnesses from dampness and poor quality housing in hospitals, and they're not being released back into homes because they're in a poor state.
The work that you're doing around the Affordability Commission is absolutely fundamental. I was delighted to see that whole thing about older occupiers, and I do think that expensive private rented housing is the only alternative to our owner occupation, and we haven't got it right.
The important thing for us though is that we must not alienate existing communities whilst we regenerate and bring new communities in. So why have we chosen to go down the joint venture route? I think from our point of view it's really obvious. We have greater control. We can work with colleagues, we can actually say this is what we want, and our joint venture partners understand that. They say, look, you tell us what you want, we'll provide the technical skills and expertise to actually deliver that.
Also strategic partnerships, which contribute a big chunk to what we'll be delivering in terms of new homes on new sites.
And what these projects have in common is a really integrated, collaborative team and a thoughtful, upfront approach to BIM.
More than ever, who is going to fill this gap to provide affordable housing that's appropriate for our communities?
We have this target as well, 1,000 new affordable homes every year in this borough, at least for the next 5 years.
And then there's a whole series of events which people of different eras and different ages will remember. And they were all quite spectacular for what happened inside the stadium. But what was happening outside it was just dreadful.
And I think this is the beginning of a much more diverse and positive relationship with the industry overall.